from part 1, the shift to part 2. The shift from part 1 to part 2 is all that has been taught till now. The student is reciprocating. Something he is saying in return, for which the Guru corrects that misconception. That is implied here. In the flow it is implied. That is why we have the section breakup. Part 1 to part 2. What is the section breakup? What is the logic of the breakup? The Guru has been saying all along something, and the disciple in return is saying something. What is the disciple saying in return? What is the disciple's rejoinder that necessitates part 2? Wonderful discourse. I exactly understood what you are saying. That is student's response, for which the Guru is saying part 2. Benny. That's the connection. That's the segregation between part 1 and part 2. What is it? There is a rejoinder by the student. The student doesn't, like in Bhagavad Gita, he comes, Arjuna Uvacha, Krishna Bhagavan Uvacha. In Upanishads, you will never find that breakup. You will never find the Guru Uvacha, Sishya Uvacha and all will not come here. In the flow of the thought, we understand what is happening. All these things are supplied in between. That is understood only because you know the flow of thought, and you also have an understanding of the language. Both. You know the thought flow, you have understanding of the language, and then you know why the segregation itself is happening from part 1 to part 2. Why can't it be continued? What is the logic to say that is part 1 and that is part 2? Part 3 and 4, story. What is being taught through logic and reason in 1 and 2, the same idea is taught through the story in 3 and 4. It means 3 and 4 is a repetition of 1 and 2 in a story form. It's not new. 1 and 2 is a repetition of, 3 and 4 is a repetition of 1 and 2. After finishing everything, the Guru, the Sishya will ask, repeat the Upanishad. Ella ketu mudichittu, 5th day, when we say retreat is over. If somebody gets up and say, repeat the Upanishad, another 5 days booking we don't have. Okay. So we have to wind up and go only. There he didn't have that problem. So when he says repeat the Upanishad, again he gives a beautiful answer. So now introduction to part 2. Why part 2 comes in? The student is responding. The way the student responds, the teacher understood that the student didn't understand a word. What is the response of the student? Shotrasya shotram manaso mano yad vachoha vachagum tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upadase anya devatad vididadado avididadati iti sushruva purvesham. 9 mantras you drill in like that, the student will naturally get up and say, Purunjittu sir, I understood now. All along I didn't understand Kenopanishad, but today I understood Kenopanishad fully, thoroughly I understood it. Oh my God. The Guru understands he made a mistake somewhere in the teaching. The Guru realized that there is somewhere in the teaching there is a mistake, because it can't be understood like that. Therefore, he starts from another angle. That is part 2. Mantra 1 padingo. We'll see what he is saying.
यदस्य त्वं यदस्य देवेष्वतनुमीमांस्यमेव ते मन्ये विदितम् यदि मन्यसे सुवेदेति तत्र मे वापि नूनं त्वं वेत्तब्रह्मणो रूपम् यदस्य त्वं यदस्य देवेष्वतनुमीमांस्यमेव ते मन्ये विदितम्.
If you think I know well, you know perhaps very little indeed. The form of Brahman you have known relates to that of gods. Therefore, now that which is to be known, I think, is still to be ascertained by you. Mimamsyam. Mimamsyam means Purilan. What I am trying to convey, except that you have understood everything else. Therefore, what I am trying to teach has to be understood by you rightly. It's like this. In the physics classroom, everything except physics is understood. Everything else except that is understood. For which he is saying. Now, where do you say there is no Sishya Uvacha and all? If you think I know well, it means the student has responded there. It is an inference. If you think you know well, it means there is in between Sishya Uvacha. Something has happened there. Something has happened there and Sishya Uvacha has happened. What is Sishya Uvacha? I have understood. The way to shut the mouth of the other person is to say, I understood. You know that? If you want to shut the mouth of the other, straight away you have to say, I understood. Now, that fellow has nothing to. What can he say after that? Yeah, maybe he is saying so much. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. He thought he is going to go on and on and on. So he said, the way he taught is so beautiful, almost like the instruments itself is getting a glimpse of the teaching. The teaching is so well, the instruments is getting a glimpse as it were. What Isavasya Upanishad calls it as golden disc. Bhushanne Karshe Yamasuriya. Isavasya calls it as golden disc. Here, the student has come to that golden disc. Not like what we appreciate. He is not appreciating the class. He is not appreciating the logic. He is not appreciating the teaching. He has reached that point of golden disc. Remember Isavasya Upanishad, golden disc? Pushanne Karshe Yamasurya Prajapatya Vyuharashmin Muhatejo Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam Tatte Pashyami Yosavasau Purusha Sohamasmi. Let everything go back to Bhasma. What is the problem? We are not discussing that. That golden disc. What is that golden disc? Yatte Rupam Kalyanatamam. The Rupa that I am seeing is Kalyan. Golden it is. But still in the realm of ignorance only. Therefore the Guru says, if you think I know well, you know perhaps very, very little indeed. Very little indeed. Nothing. Because, remember this, the paradox of knowledge. When you say, I know, the emphasis you give is on the I, not on the knowledge. That is ignorance. Again, Whenever you say I know, the emphasis is placed on what? The ego. So you place the emphasis on the ego, for which he says no. You cannot say I know. Have you ever observed that? Whenever you say I know, there is a sense of pride in saying, there is a sense of pride in that I know. If you think you know it well, you don't know it at all. Because of what? The knowledge should destroy the I. But here you use the knowledge to reinforce the I. Knowledge should destroy the I. If you have learnt it rightly, if you have understood it rightly, the knowledge will destroy the I. But you say I know it. Not only you say I know it well. I know it well nale enna artham? Ego has come into play. No sir, why can't it be a statement of fact? Why can't it be a humble statement? All this is your ego wanting to survive in some form or the other. You want to survive as the humble ego now. If you want to have a strong ego and survive, you will want to survive through the humble ego. But ego as such will not want to go. Therefore, I know it well can be a factual statement. No. The Guru know where the emphasis is placed. You have placed the emphasis on the I. Because you have placed the emphasis on I, the Guru says, if you think you know it, you do not know it. Because the emphasis becomes on the I. The moment say I know, you are not emphasizing the knowledge, you are emphasizing the ego. That is first paradox. Therefore he says, you can never say I know it. Second, the wiser you become, the less you say I know. Paradox. That's why we always say this, no? The wise one says I don't know. The ignorant one says I know. Again, another paradox. The wise one says I don't know. The ignorant says I know. Here he says, when the wiser one says, I do not know, the emphasis has shifted to, the emphasis not on ignorance. You think the emphasis is on ignorance. In reality, the emphasis is on egolessness. Manish, they would understand the distinction. The emphasis is on egolessness when you say, I don't know. When you say, I know, the emphasis is on ego. That's where the wise one always says, I don't know. When they can factually say, I know, they say, I don't know. It's not a statement of, it's not the ego pretending to be humble. It's not the ego virtue of being humble and all. Because any number of times I have said this, no? The most egoistic statement that you can make is, I am the humblest. I am the humblest of all is the most arrogant statement the human being can ever make, and everybody will genuinely believe that person is humble. I am nobody. I am nothing. I am dust. If you are a dust, you are just a dust. To go on emphasizing that. I am the dust, I am the dust, I am the dust. By going on, by emphasizing it, you are reinforcing it. So when the Shishya says, I know it well, the Guru sees a trace of that wrong thing still continuing. So he interferes and says, that which has to be ascertained has to be known again. That which needs to be known has to be taught again. Are you okay till now? The form of Brahman you have known relate to that of gods. What does that mean? The form of Brahman that you have known relate to that of gods. What does it mean? Gods are symbolic representations of the divine. You don't take the symbolic representations as divine. Symbolism means, again, gods are symbolic. Symbolism means what? Symbolism means what? Through that something else is conveyed. That is not the truth. That is not the truth. National flag is a piece of cloth. When the tailor is stitching a 10 feet national flag, he will be stamping on the national flag and stitching it. Will you put him in jail for insulting the national flag? But you and me stamp on it, it is, you know that, no? If you and me stamp on the flag, it's a criminal offense. When the tailor is stitching a 20 feet cloth, as long as it's in the tailor shop, it's only a cloth. The moment it comes to the, what is that pole called? Flagstaff. Flagstaff. The moment it comes to the flagstaff, it's no more a piece of cloth. It has gotten the status of the nation. Are you able to follow? So relating to that of gods means that which is symbolic, which means something else, that something else is that divine, that it is supposed to symbolize is missed, forgotten, and where lies the focus? On the gods, the symbols. So the Brahman, the form of Brahman you have known relates to that of gods. Relating to that of gods means it is in no way connected to Brahman. It is only the form of God that was used as the representational purposes in the initial stages. What was used as the representational purposes in the initial stages? Knowing that itself, you say? Knowing that, you say, I know. What is wisdom? That's where wisdom is very paradoxical. Ignorance is very clear, I know. Ignorance is very clear, I know. What is wisdom? What is wisdom? Living it. What is wisdom? Ignorance is very clear. I know is very clear. Wisdom. Sorry, ignorance. Ignorance is very clear. I know. What is wisdom? I never know. Unknown. Silence. Somebody said something. What? I don't know. That's the linguistic opposite. See, you are saying the linguistic opposite. See, opposite of love, you say hatred. See, hatred is not the opposite of love. Hatred is, it's a linguistic opposite. Indifference is the opposite of love. Indifference is opposite of love. What hurts you? Somebody is loving. What hurts you? The indifference is what that hurts you. So what is opposite of love? Linguistic opposite is hate. It's wrong. Are you able to follow? In Vedanta, we want to understand it rightly. So, ignorance is I know. Linguistic opposite will be I don't know. But what is the real wisdom? I really don't know to say whether I know or I don't know. That is wisdom. Wisdom means that uncertainty is wisdom. Are you able to follow? That uncertainty. You cannot, wisdom will not say I don't know. Because even in I don't know there's a certainty. Abdina ignorance na certainty. Wisdom na uncertain. And a wise one, accepting the uncertainty of life, has courage to live life. The wise man. Amar. The wise one has the courage to accept the uncertainty of life and not perturbed by that uncertainty. Opposite of that is what? Somehow we want the uncertain to be certain. It is like this. The boy will propose to the girl. And the girl will not say yes or no. That's wisdom, isn't it? If you say yes, you have given an answer. If you say no, you have given an answer. Now, you have to keep the suspense going. Correct? That's wisdom. Wisdom means what now? You cannot say I know with certainty. You cannot say I don't know also. For this, Vedanta has a beautiful word for wisdom. The beautiful word that Vedanta has for wisdom is Maya Mithya. Maya Mithya is the word for wisdom. Illa out of syllabus nu sollaringo. Solli kudukadella. Shankar. The wisdom means what? You can never say I know with certainty. Again, you can never say I don't know with certainty. It means what? Appadan gammunu irukum. Silence is correct. But that silence is not wisdom. That silence comes from the real wisdom where you actually don't know to say I know or to say I don't know. Silence. Better than that is enna kekadingo avladha. If you are wise, you will really say don't ask me. But we are all longing for people to ask, isn't it? Yaradu keka matala and we are waiting. Why? Because we have so much of ignorance. I said it in the local language. We are all waiting for somebody to come and ask so that I can show off what all I know. Waiting, sir. Nobody is asking. Even if you are really wise, even if somebody comes and asks, what will you say? Enna kekadingo, go to Purvesham. Don't ask me, go to Purvesham, for they know. Such a beautiful, each and every mantra ve oru retreat pannalam. That much of content is there. In each and every mantra. We are giving a sample of that. So that once there is a group of 6-7 people, we'll start Upanishadic class. And word by word we will go. Each and every word we talk. All this retreat is aimed at what? 2, 3, one more retreat maximum I will do, that's all. Adhik waste of time. Yeah. Get that 4, 5 and then go word by word and go into the meaning of it. Astavakra, how beautiful he is. Isn't it? Ashtavakra, when he talks to Janaka, oh my God. It's out of. என்ன சொல்றது அது? You can only say, அவரே போய் கேட்டுங்கோ. Just go and find out from him only. Don't come and ask. Wisdom means what now? Wisdom is the courage to be in that uncertainty. That is wisdom. Why? Life as such is uncertain. It is not that you are imagining an uncertainty, you are creating an uncertainty. Don't worry. Life as such is uncertain. All our planning is to avoid the uncertainty, and somehow in our brain, in our mind, we are imagining a certainty. That's why planning Allah doesn't. Yeah. All planning don't work out at all. Why? Because you have your own plan, totality has its own plan. Yeah. Human beings, we all have our plan. The totality has its own plan. Of the two plans, if you are wise, what will you do? Go to the simply steer yourself according to the totality plan. If you are ignorant, what will you do? My plan. And the my plan plan A, plan B, plan C. If plan A doesn't work, plan B. Plan B doesn't work, plan C. After that point, you are fatigued. You will not know what to do. Appo enna pandrathu? When you are fatigued, you will go into tamas. You know that? Whenever you get fatigued, you will go into tamas. That's where indulgences and everything is seen as a solution to fatigue. In Vedanta, we say there is no fatigue at all in the first place. And what is there to get fatigued about? Uncertainty is the truth of life, the fact of life, and be bold enough to accept the uncertainty. Be bold enough to accept that. Wisdom does it. When you say, I know it well, you have moved away from ignorance. Sorry, you have moved away from wisdom to ignorance. Therefore, he says, since you have said, Allah புரிஞ்சிட்டுன்னு சொன்னதுனால, since you have said, I know it well, and since you have said, I have understood it well, therefore, the conclusion is not certification. Therefore, is concluding, no? Therefore, now, I'm going to start all over. I'm going to start all over again. Therefore, now, that which is to be known, I think, is still to be ascertained by you. Mimamsam. It purila inno. Pulla inno purila nartha. You have not yet fully known. That's why you are saying, I know it. So, Sishya Uvacha, after part 1, you have to fill in the blanks. Sishya Uvacha, fill in the blanks. You filled in the blanks, then part 2 becomes very, I know it well. It's not an imagination. Sishya Uvacha. What is Sishya Uvacha? Part 1 full section எடுத்துட்டு ஒரு காஃபி குடிக்கலாம், பிரேக் எடுக்கலாம் உட்கார்ந்தாக்கா, wants to take a break. Old man, he needs a break. I know, understood no only. He knew nothing is. So part 2 start. Mantra number 1. Mantra 2 bring.
Aham manye subedeti no na vedeti vedacha yo nastat veda tat veda no na vedeti vedacha Aham manye subedeti no na vedeti vedacha yo nastat veda tat veda no na vedeti vedacha
I do not think I know well. This is Sishya Uvacha. This is Sishya Uvacha now. Guru Uvacha, it has to be ascertained. Now Sishya Uvacha. I do not think I know well. Not that I do not know. I know for certain. He amongst us who knows that, knows that. He amongst us who does not know, thus also knows. இது யார் சொல்றா? This is Sishya Uvacha. Wisdom is ascertained. Now the disciple is ascertaining that I have understood you rightly. How to say that? This is how you have to say. சும்மா மனப்பாடம் பண்ணேன்னு சொல்லாதீங்க. அப்புறம் after the class நாகம் மன்யேசு வேதேதி சார்னாலாம் not fail. Examinationல fail தான். I do not think I know. Sishya Uvacha. The first Sishya Uvacha, ignorance. Now the Sishya Uvacha is wise. I do not think I know well. Not that I do not know. I know for certain. He among us who knows that, knows that. He among us who does not know thus. Next mantra, Guru joins that. Guru Uvacha. Beautiful samvada. That's part 2 alone is the conversation. Part 1 is question, straight answer. Part 2 is some conversation is happening. That Guru Uvacha, Sishya Uvacha, Guru Uvacha, Sishya Uvacha. We keep inserting. Not that we are inserting. The Vedic language is like that. It's not that we are imagining and inserting. And the commentary le பார்த்தேன்னா அப்படிதான் எழுதிருக்காரு. The disciple is endorsing. The disciple is endorsing. என்ன அர்த்தம்? Sishya Uvacha. Sishya Uvacha. What is the Sishya saying now? I do not think I know well. I made a mistake. I know wellness. I said it's a mistake. I got it. Because you explained it so well. If you say I know na, that is ignorance. Wisdom means what? You should say I know. And you should say I don't know. புரிஞ்ச மாதிரி இருக்கு, தெரிஞ்ச மாதிரி இருக்குது, ஆனா தெரியல, புரிஞ்ச மாதிரி இருக்குது, புரியல. Deliberately I am speaking in Tamil language. That is Brahman. Because you won't understand anything. But you know something meaningful is being said. No. Benny, you understand that? No. You didn't understand a word of what I said in the last 1 minute. But you know something very meaningful is said. The enlightened disciple is endorsing. Sishya Uvacha. The enlightened Sishya Uvacha. Illa Upanishadilum student has to get enlightened. At the end of the conversation, enlightenment should happen. ஏன்னா அவ்வளவு ப்ரிப்பரேஷனோட வந்திருக்கிறார்ல. Since he has come with that complete preparation, the end of the conversation, enlightenment will happen. This is the most outstanding expression of the enlightened state. This mantra and the next mantra is the brilliant expression of the state of enlightenment, which all other system called it as blabbering. It's prattle. It's like child. When the child says something, Max Muller said that it is utterances of humanity in their early childhood. These mantras are. We call it as Upanishad only because of these mantras. So Sishya Uvacha. Now what is Sishya saying? I do not think I know. Naham Manyesu. Previous. Here he is saying I do not think I know. Incoherent, meaningless statements is wisdom. That's a drunken state. Isn't it? Meaningless, incoherent statements is wisdom. That is more like a drunk. It's not the drunken state here. He's trying to communicate something. He's saying, you taught me something which cannot be taught. The Shishya is saying, I learnt something which cannot be learnt. That's the summary. The Guru has taught that which cannot be taught. The Shishya is saying, I learnt something which cannot be learnt. If both the fellow you see as a third person, what will you think about these two? What will you think about these two? Both seems to be slightly out of this world, isn't it? Both seems out of this beautiful. Not that I do not know. I do not think I know well. Not that I do not know. Not that I do not know. I know for certain. He's just playing with the word Veda. Just the word Veda, and each and every Veda has each and every word of the Veda has a different meaning. Na aham. First is Suveda, and then comes Veda, and then comes Veda. How many times the same word is being used? I know for certain I know. And then he is looking around. There are others also sitting. Now who are they? They also know. He amongst us who knows that? Knows that. Correct. He amongst us who does not know also knows. The knowers of Brahman know that they are Brahman. Those who don't know that they are Brahman, also they are Brahman. Are you able to follow? The knowers of Brahman, there are a group who doesn't know that they are Brahman as yet. Who are they? Who are they? They are also Brahman. As the enlightenment. I have attained enlightenment and people around me are in darkness. Now you have not attained enlightenment. You understand you have attained enlightenment. Everybody around you is also, because everybody is Brahman. For there is only one thing. What? Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. All that is here is Brahman alone. All that is here is Brahman alone. Na anyat. The other doesn't exist at all. The other doesn't exist at all. The moment the other comes, Dvitiyayai bhayam bhavati. Yajnavalkya. Dvitiyayai bhayam bhavati. The moment the other comes in, what will come? All the modifications coming. Fear is an example. Fear is sample of one modification. All the 6 will come. What is the 6? Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Bhaya, Dvesha. That 6 will come. Dvitiyayai bhayam bhavati. There is no dvi. Dvi means 2. There is no 2 at all. There is no 2 at all. There is only one. There's only one. There's only one. The plural is one. The infinite is one. Again it's blabbering. Yeah, how can infinite be? Infinite is infinite. No. to whatever extent you can see, to whatever extent you see the varieties, to what all you see as plurality, all that is one. That is God. That is Brahman. I know for certain. I know for certain. How do I know it for certain? Not from the teaching, not from Brahma Vidya, from Brahma Anubhava. It's no more Brahma Vidya, it is Brahma Anubhava. Yeah. Brahma Anubhava. Tyagaraja very beautifully in the song Entoro Mahanubhavalu sings this. Brahma Anubhava, he says. It is the Brahma Anubhava. From Brahma Vidya, it has moved on to Brahma Anubhava. Again, he is using the word Anubhava only because the listener can understand the word Anubhava only. Why the listener can understand the word Anubhava? We have seen this in some other context. Human beings are experience hunters. We are all the time seeking experience. But we should experience, no sir. Knowing and all is not enough, no. We should experience, no. Because we are experience. All the time we are hunters for experience. Since that is the language we know, he is also calling it as Brahma Anubhava. In reality, there is no experience like that. But still some word has to be used, no? Therefore what he does, he uses contradictory terms. You follow? He understands it rightly. He understands it. What is the understanding? What is the understanding? It is not an Anubhava. It is the recognition of you are that already. It's a recognition. I know it for certain means what? It's the recognition of the fact. What is the fact? I know that I was that always. It's not a new experience. It's not a unique experience. It's not a new experience. It's not a mystical experience. That is why anybody talks about the experience of God as in some mysticism and all, will come and say it is the hallucination of the mind. Energy descending, isn't it? Where it will descend? From where to where it will descend? It's all pervading, no? That which is all pervading, where it is going to descend, from where to where, from whom to whom, all these words expresses only one thing, that we are constantly seeking experience. That's why even here they will ask, how was the retreat experience? Mosquitoes. Full of. Why? Because we are experience hunters. And what I am teaching, he says, is beyond experience. Beyond experience. Glaring contradiction has to be spoken. The wisdom which seems to be contradictory. Wisdom means coexistence of opposites without contradictions. Wisdom means understanding life as coexistence of opposites without contradictions. How do you know that? That's why, to make you understand that, in this Vedic culture, we always say prayers has to be done in Sandhya time. Why do we say prayers has to be done in Sandhya time? Sandhya time is the beautiful point where it's neither dark nor light. It is so beautifully changing from one to the other. And again it changes from again it changes. You follow? That's why life is that Sandhya. Sandhya means you can never know whether it is dark or light. It's a mixture of. And when they coexist, they don't contradict each other. They coexist to so beautiful. Recognition of that is wisdom. Now, if you have to explain this, how to explain? The grammar, the logic is utterly useless here. The grammar, the logic, the instruments are completely useless here. Therefore, what is it that will help you? Keep saying contradictory things. Keep saying contradictory things. And third time, fourth time, it looks like blabbering. But then it's not blabbering. You follow? See, okay, understand it from another angle. It will be easy. When you are really loving the child, how will you call the child? How will you address the child? Not by name. How will you address the child? Some meaningless gibberish, isn't it? Juju, Buju, something which has absolutely no meaning at all, but so meaningful it is. So meaningful. To whom it is meaningful? To the one who has this love in abundance, finds the language, the grammar, the words and all so limited. That's why they can say Sahasra Nama. Evlo love irundha, they can give 1,000 names. If you have to give one entity 1,000 names, how much of love you should have? And go on repeating the 1,000 names again and again and again. Oh my God. And 85%, 95%, the names and all will have no meaning. For the others it has no meaning. For this person, lot of meaning. And how many you call the child by the name versus some sound you make to address the child. Which is more appealing? Which is more appealing? The name or the sound? Sound is appealing. To an extent where the other will say, call me by my name. I have a name. Why you have to give a name and then use gibberish? Yeah. Gibberish is the right word. Am I using the right word? Gibberish? Meaningless things. If you go into the logic of it, it makes no sense. But then, wisdom is beyond the logic, no. Wisdom is beyond the logic. It means that much of logic is necessary to understand that which is beyond logic. The self-realized knows the self. Others who are not self-realized are also the self. He knows that. That's what he said. Again, the self-realized knows the self. And also he knows, he or she, doesn't matter. Also, the self-realized knows others who are not self-realized also are the self. That's why he can say Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. If you are seeing Nama, Rupa, Guna, Karma, a individuality, you are caught up in ignorance. Ignorance is Nama, Rupa, Guna, Karma. Wisdom is Brahman, the divine. But today, we are convinced by the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Karma, we are convinced. Somehow we have to superimpose the divine. So much of effort we have to do to superimpose the divine, and the very effort you make to superimpose the divine is so frustrating. இவங்களெல்லாம் டிவைனுக்கு பண்ணுமா சார்? Do I have to call this specific Nama Rupa Guna Karma as divine, or this group as divine? How can you say that? He who knows that, knows that. He who does not know that, also knows that. Even when you are seeing the snake, even when you are experiencing the snake, the reality is there is no snake. The one who sees the rope understands that. Again I repeat. Even when somebody is seeing the snake, when somebody is experiencing the snake, the wise one understands there is no snake at all. There is only rope. That's what it means. He amongst us who does not know also, he amongst us who is seeing there is a snake, doesn't mean there is a snake. Doesn't mean there is a snake. But I am seeing it, no. I am experiencing it, no. I am crying, no. I am in pain, no. All I am experiencing. Your anubhava is not the proof of anything. That's why we say drop making an attempt to experience Brahman. Stop making the attempt to experience God. Stop that wanting to experience. Stop that. And the mind wants to experience only. Experience is in relation to the state of mind. Experience means that which has a beginning and an end. What is the problem of experience? Why do we say God cannot be experienced? Experience is in relation to the state of your mind. Experience is directly related to the state of your mind. When you are in a happy state of mind, the world looks very different. When you are in a sad state, everything looks very, very different. The world is as it is only. You experiencing the world is entirely dependent on your state of mind. The first fallacy of experience is entirely dependent on your state of mind. Seriya? Second fallacy is what? Experience means that which has a beginning and an end. That which has a beginning and an end is bound to be false, untrue. That which has a beginning and an end is false, is untrue. Sir, just because it has a beginning and an end, how can you call it as false? What is the answer to that? The beginning and an end means even before you know what it is, it has changed. That's called beginning and an end. Again I repeat. Why? Just because it has a beginning and an end, why do you have to call it as untruth? You can call it as temporary truth, no? Why do you have to call it as untruth? You cannot even call it as temporary truth. It is untruth only. Why? Because even before you know what it is changed. Your instruments are not perceiving it. Because you have a memory of continuity, you think it is the same. Again, the continuity is the memory related problem, not the reality. For in reality, it is changed already. Therefore, any experience means that which continuously changing, and that which continuously changing, you can never, with certainty, you cannot say what it is. Are you able to follow? Experience means continuity comes from where? Continuity comes from your memory. It's memory based. Then only the statement, the person walking into the room is not the person who is walking out, is already changed. Then only it makes sense. Otherwise, the person who came into the retreat is the same person that is going out. No. What change has happened? Nothing has happened. We put an extra 3 kilos. Sitting, eating, you don't allow us to do anything. 3 kilos view. You follow? So experience means that which has a beginning and an end. Anything that has a beginning and an end is false. How do you say that? Even before you can know what it is, it has changed. Are you okay till now? The instruments that we have is not designed to see the ever continuous change. You ought not to perceive the changes, you ought to understand the changes. The eyes are designed to give you a continuity, then only life will have some sense. With the eyes you can't see the momentary changes. If you start seeing it, it is confusing. So everything, all that is ever has to be understood through the buddhi or third eye, jnana chakshu. You can call it as the third eye. The gross eyes should give you a continuity. You stand outside, the sun is moving, earth is not at all moving, isn't it? You stand, what is moving? We are all suspended in mid-air, hanging without any, you know that no poles, the earth is not supported, isn't it? It is just hanging in mid-air. Though dharma is saving it. Some dharma is protecting it. Not from hitting from one planet to all planets are obeying their dharma. Imagine if one violates, what will happen? Cosmic destruction. It will not happen like that at all. There's a beautiful. So, are we to see it or are we to understand it? So, life is a subject matter of understanding, not seeing. Are you able to follow? Life is a subject matter of understanding. What is that understanding? That which the eyes cannot see, you can understand. That understanding is what we call as knowledge. That understanding is what we call as. Are you able to follow? Therefore, it cannot be an experience. It cannot be called as an experience. For experience means beginning and an end. It belongs to the realm of untruth, false. It means the reality has to be beyond experience. If the reality is also an experience, it will fall under the same category. Therefore, the reality is, it is that which is beyond experience. Therefore, Sishya Vacha. What is Sishya Vacha? I do not think I know well. Naham manyeshu vedeti, nona vedeti, vedacha, yonas tatveda, nona vedeti, vedacha. Ipo Guru Vacha mantra 3. Mantra 3 padinga.
Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya vedasana avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya vedasana avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam.
Whosoever does not comprehend that, he knows that. Guru is going one step above now. Yes, Shishya is saying something. Guru is, because Guru has to say he is the Guru. No. So he is going one step above. Whosoever does not comprehend that, he knows that. Whosoever comprehends that, he knows that. That is unknown to those who comprehend. That is known to those who do not comprehend. Enough. Idukkalam we didn't come for. Yeah, we don't have to come all the way to hear this blabbering, isn't it? 2 months I would have come there and blabbered the same thing. You know that we are going to do the same Kenopanishad there also. Same thing. Why you would have waited there? Say, what is that? Look at the Guru Vacha now. So beautiful. Shishya Vacha is so beautiful. Guru Vacha is much more beautiful. Whosoever does not comprehend that, he knows that. Whosoever comprehends that, he knows that. That is unknown to those who comprehend. That is known to those who do not comprehend. Sham, இது கேட்கறதுக்கு வந்திருக்கவே வேணும். Unnecessarily your father dragged you in. இதுக்கோசரம் you came all the way. That is unknown to those who comprehend. If you say you know, you don't know. If you say it cannot be comprehended at all, you know. It means what? God cannot be defined is not a definition. That's what he is saying. Again, definition of God is what? Can't be defined. Can't be defined, your mind will convert it into a definition. And then says, I know. Able to follow? God cannot be defined, in your head becomes another definition. For which he says, no, it cannot be known. Whosoever does not comprehend that, knows that. Whosoever comprehends that, knows that. That is unknown to those who comprehend. That is known to those who do not comprehend. Shishya Vacha, Guru Vacha, same thing is being repeated. Mantra 3 is a repetition of Mantra 1 and 2. Same repetition. The tragedy of those who do not know this blabbering is Mantra 4. Those who do not know this blabbering, their life is a tragedy. Adu Mantra 4 padingo. Mantra 5. மாத்தி சொல்லிட்டேன். இன்னும் blabbering is continuing. Blabbering is still continuing. 5 தான் அது. Blabbering is still continuing. I thought I'll finish. I'm so hungry. I thought I'll finish and go. It's not leaving. Indeed, one attains immortality. இதெல்லாம் குரு வாச்சா now. No more Shishya Vacha. Guru Vacha continues henceforth. ஒரே ஒரு மந்திர தான் Shishya Vacha. Now the Guru Vacha. Indeed, one attains immortality by awareing the consciousness through every experience. You never experience hunters, it's not possible. Allah sonna. He changed the entire thing now. Indeed, one attains immortality by awareing the consciousness through every experience. Irundada, you can understand Brahman Raripo. Through experience only you can be aware of the consciousness. Through oneself, one attains power. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. Two benefits. The benefit of the ego and the benefit of the knowledge. Atmana vindate viryam. Adhudha through one's self, small s. The Atman is not equated to Brahman. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate amritam. The benefit of ego and the benefit of knowledge. Benefit of ego is power. Benefit of knowledge is immortality. Rendukku distinction irukundrar. Don't worry, I am going to continue with this mantra late in the evening also. We are not concluding this. Through oneself, one attains power. Atmana vindate viryam. Power you get. Power means, what do you get through effort? Through effort, what you get? Something tangible, material, worldly you get. That is power. Viryam. Vidyaya vindate amritam. Through knowledge you attain immortality. Knowledge is used synonymously with wisdom. And what is wisdom? Each and every experience is the proof of consciousness. The proof of consciousness is the each and every experience is the proof of consciousness. I'll explain that later. I'm going to explain that later. My ears and all is blocked out of hunger now. Pasila kaad adikirathum paakliya. Isn't it? But beautiful it is. Indeed, one attain immortality by awareing the consciousness through every experience. It means what? Each and every experience is the proof of consciousness. How do you say that? Srotrasya srotram. That's already. Srotrasya srotram. Every experience is possible because there is an enlivening factor behind it. So experience is the proof of the enlivening factor, enlivening principle. Therefore, every experience you have a chance of hitting Brahman. You really don't have to sit with your eyes closed and meditation samadhi. It's not Vedanta. Everyone follow. We don't need that special meditation, eyes closed. Breathing, breathe out. Each and every experience is the proof of Brahman. Yeah, why do you have to sit and do all those gimmicks? The Upanishad doesn't try all these gimmicks. Whatsoever you do, Silambu, keep doing. In and through that, Brahman is there already. Because breathing, Brahman is there. Are you feeling? Brahman is there. Are you comprehending something? It means, indeed one attains immortality by awareing consciousness through every experience. Experience is the proof of consciousness. What is the proof of God? You are alive? No. Are you able to follow? What is the proof of God? If you ask for God as a person, that kind of proof doesn't exist. Again, if you ask for proof of God, thinking God as a person, that kind of proof doesn't exist. What is the proof of God? The fact that you are alive itself is proof of God. That's what we said yesterday. You don't doubt yourself, no. Everything can be doubted. But can awareness be doubted? If you doubt that, who's the doubter? There is somebody. Are you able to follow? Therefore, indeed one attains immortality by awareing the consciousness through every experience. Means what? All experiences has the possibility of helping you to remember who you are. Therefore, in Vedanta, we don't try and seek for any special mystical experience. Kailash Mansarovar போனால ஒன்னும் கிடைக்காது. Resaji. Seema will become jobless. Want to get that self-discovery. Where? Kailash Mansarovar. Arthritis problem will come. The knees will break when you come down. Isn't it? You have to tell them that you want arthritis problem, come to on Kailash. If you want heart problem, because in Vedanta, in Upanishad, we don't seek any special place, any special experience to remember Brahman. For right now, in each and every experience, you can experience, you can remember it, you can experience it, you can know it. Therefore, proof of God is experience. The fact that you know that you are having an experience. Don't worry about what you are experiencing. The moment experience comes, your attention shifts to what you are experiencing. What you are experiencing? Joy, sorrow, pleasure, pain. What you are experiencing is not it. The fact that you are you experiencing? Are you aware? Are you conscious? Each and every experience gives you that awareness of consciousness. Each and every experience gives you the possibility of remembering God. Where can you do that? Where can you do that? Now, here. Now here you can do it. That's how Upanishad makes it possible to everybody, everywhere. Otherwise, you always have to seek for, you always have to go to a special place, special experience, mystical experience. இல்லையா? அப்புறம் அந்த ஸ்பெஷல் பிளேஸை தேடின்னு போனா விஐபி தர்ஷன் கேட்கணும். நாராயண்ஜி வாங்கிட்டேல, வாங்கிடுங்க. விஐபி தர்ஷன், விவிஐபி தர்ஷன், இல்லைன்னா பக்கத்துல ரகு இருக்கார். All masters of getting VVIP darshan. Breathing, no, God is there. You are breathing, no, God is there. You are feeling thirsty, no, God is there. You are feeling hungry, no, God is there. You are feeling sleepy, no, God is there. You are waking up, no. Why do you want? Indeed, one attains immortality by awareing the consciousness through every experience. In the mantra, in the sentence, we will never ever use this vocabulary. Awareing the consciousness, Allah. But then, this is the Upanishad. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindati atmana vindate viryam. Pratibodha viditam. Prati means again and again and again. Pratibodha viditam. Experiences are happening continuously again and again and again. Isn't that enough to know Brahman? Pratibodha viditam means, prati means again and again and again and again. Pratibodha viditam matam. Experiences is flowing, no. Anubhava dhara, no. Life is a flow of experiences, no. Life is anubhava dhara, no. What is it that is making the flow pass? What is it that is making you aware of everything? What is it that making you aware of yourself and that which makes you aware of yourself and that by which you are aware of everything around you? You know you are there and you also know something other than you is also there. What is it that is splitting the subject and the object, making you to be aware of the subject and making you to be aware of the object? What is that? That is God. That is Brahman. That is consciousness. Indeed, one attains immortality by knowing. Atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate amritam. Another beautiful statement of the Upanishad, which we will take up later. The second part of the mantra 4 we will continue with.